Really proud of our effort. Obviously a really good basketball team, grown men. We got some young guys that I think will really grow from this and learn from this. We just had a really tough first half handling the basketball, kind of what happened second half of Michigan. You know, if we could take back the second half of Michigan and the first half here against Cincinnati, just in the area of turnovers, I think we'd be sitting in a different position. So, you know, you get the same amount of offensive rebounds, the same amount of total rebounds against this Cincinnati team. I'm ecstatic about that. You know, I thought shot attempts were about the same. You make 11 threes on this team. That doesn't happen very often. I just thought the difference was turnovers. They beat us 12 points. Seemed like more than that. They beat us by 14. They beat us 12 on turnovers. So the whole difference in the game, I think, was just pass, catch, ball handling. And our offense has got to catch up. Defensively, I think we're really growing, really maturing. As I told the team in the locker room, we're starting to trust each other a lot defensively, and that's good. Our offense has got to catch up with that same kind of trust, and we're not there yet. Questions?
Uncharacteristic off day for Tom. Was there something they were doing?
Well, they doubled him. They doubled him in the first half. Didn't quite double him as much in the second half, but they did double him in the first half. And then I thought he started rushing things. I thought whenever you see Tom shoot an air ball, you know he's rushing things. And so it's again one I haven't told him yet, but it's respect to him that a team like Cincinnati is doubling you. They don't always double the post. So that's a tribute to you of how much they respect you as a player. So he'll gain, he'll learn. Those are things Tom does. He bounces back from learning experiences, but I just thought he got a little bit rushed today with his shooting. And we couldn't get him the ball early enough to get him going. It was 14, 15 minutes maybe before he got a shot. You know, that's too long for our offense not to get him a shot.
How much of the turnovers do you think was defense? Because seeing some of them were forced passes and guys dribbling off their bodies.
No, how much the turnovers was what?
Or was Cincinnati's defense versus?
Oh yeah, no, you gotta give credit. That's where they hang their hat. I mean, they're an outstanding defensive team, and they're big, strong, physical. So you give them a lot of credit, but you still can't turn the ball over. What do we have? 18 turnovers, 15 and a half. That's equating to 30 in a game. So you know, the second half was even. We played them even in the second half. The difference was turnovers, and I think we went 7 minutes without scoring a point. Without watching tape, in those 7 minutes, we probably had a bucket load of turnovers. So you're not giving your offense a chance, and then you're giving a team, Cincinnati, who doesn't run a lot. They do get out and run off their mistakes, and so I thought our defense, again, without looking at the tape, I thought we did some really good things defensively. They scored a lot of their points because of our miscues offensively, and a lot of it had to. I mean, we're talking about ball handling and ill-advised passes, and you know, so those are things that we've got to really correct and shape up quickly.
I know you guys played with mostly an 8-man rotation last year, but have you noticed more fatigue from this group than the 8 guys out there?
Well, again, we can't compare last year. You know, last year probably didn't get enough credit how special that team was. They beat everybody on their schedule. They won 31 games. That was a special group. We had many more veterans on that group that knew what they were doing and could play with poise and value. You're looking at a team last year that, you know, the fastest paced offense in the country and turned the ball over about 11 times a game. You know, so that was a special group. So I don't like comparing that to this team because this team's a lot younger. We got 5 of our 8 who didn't play last year. And so it's a learning curve. It's Michigan was their first road game, and now you come off finals and Cincinnati's looking at you. Now you got South Dakota and Kentucky, and then league starts. So it's about understanding who we are. You know, you went from one day from having 11 in a rotation to 8. It doesn't happen a lot in college basketball, and I think this group, I just can't thank them enough. I think they've handled things extremely well. When you look at our travel and the distractions, and they've handled things, they're competing, they're working, it's just trying to figure some things out. And I think as they get a little bit more mature in this process, their play will emulate that. But really pleased with their effort, pleased with their focus, and I think it'll get better from here. But we got beat by a very good basketball team.
started Alex in the second half. How did that, what did you get out of that? And also, Prince got off to a great start, and then the ball didn't seem to find him very much after that.
Yeah, and that's stuff that we got to continue. Again, it's the trust factor offensively of learning who's hot and who needs the basketball. It's like going 15 minutes with Tom not getting a shot. That's stuff guards have got to figure out. We talk about starting inside out, and we didn't start inside out. We started outside in, and that affects your offense a lot because you just keep getting pushed further out, and you wanted to start controlling the paint. The second half, I thought we cut harder, the ball moved more, we had fewer turnovers, and we got some guys some look. But Alex starting in the second half, I just liked what he did in the first half. I thought he was mean, physical, 6 rebounds at half. I thought he was active, and we needed to change something up, being down 13 at half and nothing really going well for us. And I thought he did some really good things, and he's been playing very consistent for us. But our guys know that the rotations will change, minutes will change depending on how you're producing.
Aaron played 37 minutes today. Can you just talk about what was demanded of him today?
Well, there's a lot demanded of Aaron, but that's because Aaron has demanded that because he's a special player. So a lot is going to be demanded on Aaron. And I thought his second half was better. First half, I think he had 4 turnovers. At halftime, didn't have any in the second half, or maybe 3 in the first half. I didn't like the start of the game by Aaron. I didn't like the start of the game by the team. The first half was not characteristic of our team and not characteristic of Aaron. But Aaron knows the pressures that are on him to lead this group, to be a vocal leader, to be a calming force of poise. He understands that, and he does a really good job for us. And I thought his second half was much, much better.
Just checking to see if there's any resolution on the 2 guys.
I haven't heard anything.
Kind of following up on the earlier question about Aaron, I mean, Aaron and Thomas seem like they really have to play in this situation. They've got to play really well for you to be good teams. How are they kind of handling the fact that the focus is going to be so much on them?
Well, you got, these are 2 guys that put their name in the draft last year and tested the waters and came back to school. So you're looking at 2 high-level guys. In my mind, they're potential pros moving forward. So that's all part of it. You're gonna get that kind of attention. And when you're playing a team like this, for us right now, with what we're trying to handle and deal with, there's even more pressure on Tom and Aaron because they have to play well. And I thought Aaron had a really good second half, tough first half. And I thought Tom had a really tough first half, and things got a little bit better for him in the second half, but it wasn't one of Tom's better games. And a lot of that had to do with playing a very good defensive team that this tape's gonna get out. That's what happens. So even when you're guys like Aaron and Tom, and you've demanded that kind of attention, you gotta watch film, you gotta figure it out, you gotta keep getting better, you gotta keep that edge of knowing that, yeah, you are a very good player, but that doesn't mean you're gonna play very well unless you keep the edge of watching tape and continue to get better.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.